It's Danny here with another episode of the Daily Grind. You already know I'm pouring you up a nice hot cup of joe, going to get your day off to a bright and beautiful start. Let's jump in for today's messages. I feel like today we may be dipping somewhat into the shadow side. What that looks like is sometimes when you are working towards like certain goals and things that you have, there's a period where there's a void. Either you don't see anything, right? There's no progress, right? It's kind of like I'm looking for a job. I put in all these applications and crickets, right? I haven't heard anything back, yet, right? Maybe it is kind of like working towards a relationship. And I don't know why it's kind of giving like a feminine, and obviously everybody doesn't want to be married, but it's kind of like, oh, they haven't popped the question yet, right? But it's kind of like being in this middle space where a lot of times people get discouraged, right? If you think about like things that you've been truly believing for, it can be things as significant as like, I want to be able to keep my house, right? Or, I need to be able to put food on the table or gas in the car. And sometimes there's this space where you simply don't see how things are going to line up or, what's going to come through. And I feel like you could certainly be um, feeling that today, but that's why we walk by faith and not by sight. And so we can't go by just the things that we see, just the things that maybe kind of give us that comfort and assurance. We also have to fine tune our knowing. And this is the place from where our confidence derives and why growing in relationship is essential, and there is no confirmation, if you will, or comfort greater than simply having relationship itself. Think about it, right? If you and I have a relationship when there's something going on with me, or perhaps you even have something going on with you, you can ask anyone else, right? You can talk to someone else about what's going on with me, or about what's going on with you. But if it involves me or if I have the power to be able to change it, there is no better means by which you're going to see that change had unless you talk to me. And so when it comes to the way we relate to God, the universe, whatever, that relationship has to constantly be growing because it will make or break us in terms of whether or not we manifest. And a lot of times that's just by virtue of holding, saving space for things to occur. Like, think about it, right? If you are having faith in something and then, something kind of like challenges that, if every time that happens, right, you don't know, so you're solely going by what you see, how easy would it be for you to get thrown off, right? Kind of like knocked off your square, right? Um, Versus when you have that knowing, despite what you see, I don't care. Nope. I just have to wait it out, or I just have to see. I feel an energy that's like that. So it gives you a deeper level of assurance where certain things maybe that break others down, or that would maybe be a deterrent for others, they're not a deterrent for you. And I feel like this, I don't know why I kind of feel like this keeps you maybe even motivated is really kind of what I feel. It keeps you, I don't know why I kind of get like you see what's going on. I don't know why I really kind of get like all seeing eye vibes. You see what's going on around you. And I also just heard you hear. Okay. So you see and you hear perhaps more than what other people do. So when it comes to like just allowing things to like, this is kind of like some other people can't stand certain things, but I can't lie. I don't know. I don't know why your messages have to do with people. I feel like people maybe have a big part of your story, or these could be like key people in your life. And so when it comes to like living your life, like they're going to be a part of your life. So that could be why this is coming up as being so significant. But the top of the day is basically having to do with being able to, I don't know why it kind of gives like to pick up on like this could be like, what's your business? Okay. And it could be like something is your business. This is my business. So I can sense I need to maybe give some attention to it. It could also be like how I talked about like other people. It could be that's not my business, right? So again, like maybe it is like having a lot on your plate or a lot going on, or and this is kind of like if it's not my business, then if I feel like it's not my business, I don't know why I'm kind of getting like I'm not going to get involved. I don't know why I'm kind of picking up something like that. That could resonate for someone. Okay. So there could be something that you can feel, and it's almost like feeling like I feel like I'm in the middle of something, but that's not my business to be in the middle of, or I feel like I'm in the middle of something, but this is my business. There's something, let me just say, something collapsing at the top of the day. Snake midday is a potential energy, so it makes me feel like midday is like working on some things that maybe that have potential, right? This could be putting energy or effort into things to see where something could go. It could be like seeing if I'm any good at this, right? It could be practicing a skill to see if I can master this and it can maybe take me somewhere. It could be, working on a relationship or a friendship to see what might unfold between us, right? It could be a business partnership. This could be self-development, right? Body work, right? Working on you, working on maybe it is your eating habits, budget, spending, something like that. There is work being put into something midday. And what feels like, let me just say, this could be, I feel like there's something, it's almost like I want to deliver on this. Okay. Someone wants, I don't know why I kind of feel like someone wants something to be official. Okay. And in relationship, that could be like some aspect of the relationship they want to be official. This could be like, I want to go on record. If I'm mastering an expertise, then I want to be the official person on whatever this is. Okay. Let's just say though, at this point, as it presently stands, the potential is only there. Nothing has actually unfolded. And I feel like that's why the work is being done, which leads us to the end of the day. Okay. Usually the fire ant is assertion. Okay. And depending on where or how, I don't know why something gives a great deal of skill. Someone can sense where this feels like strike while the iron's hot. It also feels like, how it's almost like the timing is now. I don't know why I'm getting like an energy of like a person who has an eye for what could be anything, right? An eye for detail, an eye of the tiger. I don't see any tigers, but I feel like somebody is very keen on something. They're very sensitive to. They're good at what could be like picking certain things out or certain people out. Somebody has an expertise, and I feel like the end of the day is them asserting themselves. Let me say the other side of this energy would be like predatory energy. If someone is being predatory, then the end of the day, it feels like is someone like what could be like how does her bussing back, but that's what it feels like. Somebody may be pushing back on someone's like you're preying on me, that is predatory. And someone it feels like would be doing something that I don't know why it's either shots fired or this is people running away after the shots was fired. The top of the day, it looks like wisdom. Okay. That's what's coming out to join the octopus. Okay. So there's someone that's sensing something, and wisdom maybe even says this is a big deal, this ain't my business, or this is my business, so let me get, again, it's like again the top of the day, let me get to work on this, let me do something about this, or let me not get involved because that's not my business. But when wisdom comes out, when I talk about knowing, it may not be seen, but it's definitely sensed or felt. Okay. Just be is joining the snake. So I feel with this potential energy, this is why this is important, right? And perhaps this resonates for some of you. So I'll use this for an example, okay? Because the reality is that potential does not always unfold, right? And that's what we want. So we want to see, but think about it. If you're dating someone, you want to see potential, right? I can tell you a shadow space of relationship. Most of my life, I had in dating. This is because I sucked at dating, but most of my life in dating, I would be wholeheartedly given to someone, and when that person and myself were together, they would give the impression that they were given to me. And then we would go around their friends or their family and they would completely disown me. It was very hurtful. It messed with my self worth. It made it so that I had low self esteem for a good portion of my life. And it made dating very difficult because I found it hard to believe that someone genuinely had interest in me because of the experiences that I had where I found out that I was only being used for all that I give in relationship. And so I say that because sometimes the potential is obviously in those situations, they had the potential to be something more than what they were. But the reality is that sometimes doing the work reveals that while the potential is there, the will or the desire is not there. And the just be card can be where you simply have to let it be and trust that, everything is lining up, or it's like the perfect time for you to find out that, maybe it's not going to go where you thought it was. And again, obviously that could be anything, right? So I feel like midday, as things are being worked through, is kind of like just allowing wherever the potential leads, whether it unfolds. And this is kind of like whether they change or whether they never change, right? And maybe we shouldn't try to change people, obviously, but this is just allowing it, allowing yourself to be who you are, right? And allowing, whatever the situation or circumstance is to be what it is. Water, earth, and fire are the energies that we're working with today. No air quite showing itself, although on Patreon and the extended messages, we'll see if a little bit of air energy comes out, right? Communication correspondence, right? I do kind of feel an energy of what could be like some official communications or correspondence. So for some of you that could resonate, I do feel like some of you are getting very close to some sort of a harvest or growth. And, you know, the more I grow in my own personal relationship, the more I realize when it comes to like seeing a harvest or seeing growth, we can, maturity, as we mature in life, that growth we will appreciate the growth even if it doesn't look like what we want, right? Because that potential, right? And again, some of y'all, this potential as potential unfolds, right? It is maybe a blossoming into everything you want it to be, because I see love here. Okay. What this means though is, because it's not for me to say, some of you, this is going to be so beautiful. And as you work through it, you're realizing, I just need to let this unfold. And as it unfolds, this is kind of like what feels like knowing that and that's what it feels like, that I feel the energy of like the spirit of love is in a thing, or it's not, right? Either way, it's within you. So when we talk about this potential, this is you just allowing yourself to unfold in whatever way it is that you are. Some of you, this has to do with self-work, things that you're working on within yourself. And this could be you allowing yourself to be who you are, right? And just simply going with the flow and having a peace about who you are. This could mean that there's something that you want to do. And when I say love, this is like in my heart, right? I don't know why, oh my mama, right? In my heart, I have a desire to do this, right? And this can be like, I feel led, right? I feel drawn to do whatever this is. Um, and I don't know why I feel the energy like towards the end of the day, there's something significant about timing. 444 on the clock. But I'm kind of getting like, I just feel the time is right. I don't know why I kind of get like somebody being moved or being prompted, not necessarily by something external, but it could be, but it just feels like someone is feeling compelled, we'll just say, and this is love. And keep in mind, right? Sometimes this is like doing something to love yourself, right? And sometimes that's like pushing back or asserting yourself, right? Why are you praying on me, right? Why are you praying on my kid, right? If you think about things like that, right? That's all love. I'm going to show them love because I'm heated, right? But there's also like, I don't know. I think about, oh, I hear all these songs, when a man loves a woman. But if you think about that, right? When you love someone, you just don't treat them bad, right? There's something you want to do for them. You want to show them love, perhaps do things to express your love or to make that known. If it's a job or business, right? I want to work with you, then because that's what your desire is in your heart, right? It's going to flow. And that's what I feel is at play. There's something that is just potential as it presently stands, but what feels like something is taking place today and it's evolving. And wisdom says that if I want this potential perhaps to advance or to unfold, there is showing love to someone else or oneself as a means of asserting oneself in what feels like just being able to sense or knowing very deeply that it's right in flow. This is the right time. I don't know why I'm kind of getting like perfect time. I don't know. I kind of get like you're spiritually sensitive today. You may be very in tune intuitively, but you're picking up on, I feel the flow of energy. So something is taking place in what feels like imperfect time. So that is all for the Daily Grind messages. Make sure that you guys join us on Spotify so that we can get the brief messages. And for if you're not on Patreon, for those extended messages, trust me, you're missing out. I love you guys. Like, follow, subscribe, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.